Alright, what the heck is going on, my dudes? We're back here today with the first week of the Summer of Suffering. We got the Destroyer as the first boss. Now, this was a pretty darn fun fight, man. It's a rather vanilla Destroyer at the end of the day with a lot of player-friendly nodes. There is a root on his special one, which actually helps you because if you dex his special attack hits, he's not going to gain his charges, okay? Now, the three objectives are Villain, Hero Offensive Burst, and Hero Defensive Tank. Keep in mind, you cannot do just Offensive Burst, you cannot just do Defensive Tank, you cannot just do Hero. Has to be Hero plus Offensive Burst. When you go to filter your tags, make sure you do all selected tags, not any selected tags. It's a very common problem I see all the time, okay? So, we're going to go over some of the best options for this fight, how to fight this guy, what to do, all that fun stuff, man. Now, this was a really hard fight to make a top 10 list for because there are a lot of fantastic options. This is a very relatively easier week compared to previous boss fights, okay? Because like I said, there are some nodes that do help you. If you interrupt his heavy attack, you gain a grit buff, which is going to bypass his unstoppable, allow you to hit him, right? The root on the special one is going to be very, very helpful. Just watch out for that unblockable buff he gets every couple of seconds, okay? Every like 14 seconds or so. You can get it if you back up, but that's going to give him charges and whatnot. The main things to keep in mind here is that you really do not want to use buffs against this guy because his Sig ability is going to give you Thorns damage if you do, okay? So, obviously, the best options are going to be Science Champions, some of them being buff immune to just take away that threat, you know? Also, if you inflict him with non-damaging debuffs, he is going to have his charges reduced, okay? So, let's start with number 10. We got my boy, Spidey 2099, man. So, one big threat the Destroyer has is that when he reaches 100 charges, he gains that power gain, right? Spidey 2099 is going to just completely reverse that, okay? That's going to be very, very nice and helpful for just keeping in the rhythm of the fight, baiting that special one, attacking, throwing the special twos, hitting his block, doing some rupture burst damage. You're going to have a pretty darn good time, okay? Moving on to number 9, we have the Immortal Hulk. Now, lots of people have a 7-star Immortal Hulk now, so for Hero and Defensive Tank, which I feel like is probably the toughest objective, right, on the list, I would say, he's very solid for that, man. He's very, very solid for that fight. I used a 6-star rank 4, and I got him down to like 30% health in one try, so if you got a new shiny purple border 7-star Immortal Hulk, you're probably going to be able to get this Destroyer down without too many issues, alright? Moving on to number 8, we have Quicksilver. I did not try this one myself, but I heard from a very reliable Metal Sonic dude. I should have said, like, very reliable steel-coated hedgehog, that Quicksilver is very solid for the fight. So, Quicksilver, of course, has all that burst damage on his whiplash and whatnot. Keep in mind the Destroyer is immune to slow, but that's okay. You don't need to rely on the slow for this particular fight. Alright, moving on to number 7, we have Sasquatch. Now, Sasquatch is interesting, alright? Most of this list is like Science Champions and champions who can counter the power gain and whatnot, but Sassy just happens to fit 2 objectives, man. He is Hero Offensive Burst and Hero Defensive Tank, and he just has some very spicy damage when you line it all up properly. So if you're trying to knock out 2 birds in 1 stone, if you think that you're going to be, you know, using a couple revives on this guy regardless, it might be a good idea to throw your Sasquatch in the ring if you have like a rank 2 Sassy or even a rank 3 Sassy, because he'll probably do a pretty darn good job here. He doesn't have any buffs, and he has some high damage, and he's pretty tanky, so at the end of the day, Sassy might be a great option for you, man. Moving on to number 6, we have Void for Villain. Now, Void is obviously very solid with the power reversal here. If you have a 7-star Void, obviously you preferably want him to be duped, but a 6-star Void will probably do just fine. You have that constant damage over time going with Void, which is really nice. The power gain is not going to be an issue. Just have a nice, slow and steady fight, bait that heavy attack, counter his unstoppable, and you're probably going to have a good time with Void. Moving on to number 5. Number 5, we have America Chavez, dude. Now, America Chavez is not a Science Champion, right? But she is an Offensive Burst Hero Champion, and lots of people have her ranked up. She's a great champion, of course, and of course, her Dark Dimension, by finishing your heavy attack, is going to reverse passive power gain. So, with America, it's going to be kind of hard to avoid that power gain triggering because you're going to want to bait that special one and dex the charges, so you get the dexterity buff, which is going to go ahead and give him charges and all that fun stuff. So, you want to just make sure you have like 2 to 3 copies of that purple dimension, and you can even get him in the corner and chain your heavy attack when the power gain is going. Just keep spamming that special 1, keep spamming your special 2, have a good time, do some damage, and America has a really nice control of the fight. Once you get in the rhythm of baiting the special 1 in the corner and like in his corner, and then immediately going in and countering and repeating, the fight becomes a lot simpler once you get that down, and the strategy is very similar with most champions on this list. Moving on to number 4, we have Piggy. We got Spider Pig. So yeah, Spider-Ham does a crap ton of damage. Spider-Ham is objective. When Spider-Ham can inflict debuffs, he's gonna be good. So yeah, obviously just like, you know, use his evade to your advantage there. Same kind of strategy. Keep baiting that special 1. Keep taunting him, you know, with your special 1. After you gain a bunch of power stings on him and you have like 25 in the bank, you can go for the special 3 and go for a giant explosion. And yeah, the Pig is a great champion for this sort of thing. This health pool, 1.3 million, is perfect for the Pig, for ramping for the special 3 for a quick burst to an explosion. So yeah, if you have a ranked up Piggy, he's gonna be great. Moving on to number 3, we have Hulk. Hulk is who I used for my hero and defensive tank. It was like 2 special 3 rotations and he was dead. I did a regular rotation, and then for the second one after the special 3, I went for a special 1. Long stun, right? Combo, relic, combo, special 1 again, and he was dead. It took off like over 50% of his health in that final thing. My Hulk was rank 2, not rank 3. Moving on to number 2, we have Titania. Now imagine how crazy number 1 has to be for this fight if Titania isn't in first and she fits the objective against a Mystic champion. So Titania is obviously great. She has the Haymaker for the special 2 if you're not good at dexing it. She's buff immune, so you don't have to worry about gaining too many buffs here. Now keep in mind, if you were to dex with the buff immune champion, you would still give him 2 charges, but one thing that is great about Titania here that isn't the best with the other champions, Quicksilver is good for it, but Titania puts a non-damaging debuff on the opponent on every single light attack she does, so you really do not have to worry ever about the power gain on this guy, because as long as you stay aggressive, you're going to keep removing those charges and have a really solid time with Titania. Now, let's talk about number 1. What science champion as a 6-star out-edged my 7-star rank 3 Sig 140 Titania? Well, it was Red freaking Guardian, dude. He was so incredible for this fight. He's got pretty much everything that you need. He can block unblockable, right, when his shield is off, so that's special 2. If you push him to that special 2, don't worry about it, you can block it. The damage is crazy on the special 2. Being able to dex those special 1s in the corner consistently is going to ramp up his shield, which is going to increase the damage on the special 2 and all that fun stuff. The trauma is going to be great. What I did basically was I got to the special 2, and then I stayed in his corner, and then I was dexing his special 1, and I was heavy countering. Heavy, right? And then I would bait the special 1 again. Heavy, bait the special 1 again. Heavy, go for the special 2. Heavy, repeat. He was so good for this fight, man. It felt so good. We need a 7-star Red Guardian, dude. He's so good. So yeah, man, that is the Destroyer. Pretty darn fun fight. Very fair objectives, I think. There are very solid options here. When it comes to villain, you know, for this list, I stayed more towards the latter 2 because there are so many villains that you really just got to use the villain that works best for you. The other 2 are a little bit more targeted, of course, but villain is a very large tag, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like those top like 4 or 5 or 6 options on this list are so good for this fight. So if you have any of those, I would gear towards them. And again, I do recommend you spend some time practicing this fight to get that special 2 dex down. That way the next time you have a Destroyer in Battlegrounds or Alliance War, you're going to be an absolute champ baiting that special 2 and dexing that thing like an absolute monster. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below who you use for this fight, and if you think I missed anybody in the top 10 options for this list, I would love to hear your opinion. That's going to be it for this one. Hit all those buttons. I'll be seeing you around, man.